November 30th, 1939. The Finnish-Soviet border. 4:47 a.m. In the eerie silence of the far north, a 19-year-old boy named Taisto Mäkinen is lying huddled in a deep snow trench. The temperature right now is minus 31 degrees Celsius. Cold is not just a feeling. It is a tangible enemy. Taisto can no longer feel his fingers at all. His Mosin Nagant rifle has frozen solid to his snow-caked wool gloves. His breath turns into white clouds, vanishing quickly in the thick darkness of the pine forest. Then, from the other side of the border, a sound begins tearing through the night. It is the sound of metal grinding on ice, the low roar of engines shaking the ground beneath his boots. Through the gaps in the trees, Taisto sees them, Soviet T-26 light tanks. Dozens of them, following each other in a long, endless line, crawling across the trail like a giant steel snake, moving in to swallow his small country. Taisto glances at his ammo pouch. He has exactly 6 bullets left. His unit, an entire infantry company, possesses only a single old-style anti-tank gun. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, history records a terrifying figure. The Soviet Union mobilized 450,000 troops, 6,000 armored vehicles, and 3,800 aircraft to conquer Finland. The world watched and thought, Finland will fall in a week. But Taisto is not reaching for his rifle. Instead, he reaches for a glass bottle hanging from his belt. Inside is a dark, swirling liquid. A rag is stuffed into the neck. This is the weapon that would humiliate an empire. This is the story of the Molotov Cocktail, the weapon of the underdog. To understand why a simple glass bottle became a global symbol of resistance, we have to look at the man who gave it its name. Vyacheslav Molotov, the Soviet foreign minister. When Soviet planes began bombing the Finnish capital, Helsinki, the world was outraged. But Molotov, with a straight face, told the international press, "We are not dropping bombs. We are dropping food baskets for the starving Finnish people." The Finns, known for their dark and sharp sense of humor, even in the face of death, began calling the Soviet cluster bombs Molotov's breadbaskets. And they decided that if the Soviets were bringing bread, the Finns should provide the drinks to go with it. They called their homemade firebombs a cocktail for Molotov. But at the beginning of the Winter War, these cocktails were primitive. Soldiers just filled old soda bottles with gasoline and used a kerosene-soaked rag as a fuse. These were dangerous. The rag could blow out in the wind. Or worse, the fire could leak and burn the soldier's hands before he even threw it. Enter Captain Eero Kuittinen, a Finnish military engineer with a mission to turn a riot tool into a professional tank killer. Kuittinen understood the anatomy of a tank. He knew you didn't need to blow up the thick steel armor. You just needed to stop the heart of the machine. He gathered a team of chemists at the Alco state-owned liquor factory. They stopped bottling vodka and started bottling war. Kuittinen's perfected cocktail was a masterpiece of improvised engineering. First, the fuel. They didn't just use gasoline. They created a sticky, hellish mixture of gasoline, kerosene, and tar. The tar was the secret. It made the fire stick to the metal like burning glue, ensuring the heat would stay concentrated on one spot. Next, the ignition. Kuittinen got rid of the dangerous flaming rag. Instead, he attached 2 long, windproof storm matches to the sides of the bottle. A soldier only had to strike the matches and throw. Even in a howling Arctic blizzard, the matches would stay lit. They even developed a chemical fuse inside the bottle that would ignite upon impact, making the weapon even safer for the user. The tactic was suicidal but effective. A Finnish soldier would have to hide in the snow, let the giant Soviet tank roll past him, and then jump out and smash the bottle against the rear engine deck. The sticky fire would seep through the air vents, choking the engine and igniting the fuel lines. The steel snake would become a steel oven. During the 105 days of the Winter War, the Finnish Alco factory produced over 500,000 Molotov cocktails. The Soviet army, which expected a parade, found themselves in a nightmare. Tanks that were supposed to be invulnerable were being destroyed by boys in white camouflage capes using 20-cent bottles. The psychological impact was massive. Soviet tank crews became terrified of the woods, of the shadows, of every Finnish soldier who might be carrying a bottle. The Molotov cocktail leveled the playing field. It gave a small nation a way to fight back against a superpower. Finland eventually had to sign a peace treaty and cede territory, but they kept their independence. They preserved their soul and a fierce fighting spirit. The story of the Molotov cocktail and Captain Kuittinen is not just about a weapon. It is proof of Finnish sisu, extreme persistence, courage against fate, and finding solutions in hopeless situations. Kuittinen was not a sword-wielding warrior, but he gave every soldier a tool to level the field against a machine. He proved that creativity is the ultimate weapon of the weak against the strong. Today, the Molotov cocktail remains present in conflicts worldwide. From Budapest, 1956, to Hong Kong protests, or modern Ukraine. It is a global symbol of resistance. But remember, its origin was not accidental. It was the product of an engineer who perfected the art of burning steel with glass. Dear friends, the Winter War teaches us a deep lesson about the power of will and innovation. When facing an insurmountable challenge, do not look at what you lack. Look at what you have and make it 100 times more effective. Sometimes all you need to change the world is a right idea and some glass. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like and subscribe to support our quality history and war content. Leave a comment below about another historical event you want us to explore. Your support drives our journey of discovery. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.